I had a lot of thoughts about MLMs before, but now that I sat down to watch the LuLaRich documentary, I cannot stay silent anymore. Hey there, what's up and welcome back. If you're new here, hey, I'm Latasha. And MLMs are a topic that I have gotten asked about here and there over the years, but I really wanted to create a video that was solutions based. You're not an idiot if you've fallen prey to an MLM. And I want you to know also that there are legitimate ways to make money from home. There are legitimate flexible jobs out there that stay-at-home moms and single mothers are well equipped to do, but I just don't feel we talk about them enough. And what happens is these big giant MLMs get super big, get super trendy, and those just become the most obvious option for people. So if you don't know what an MLM is, it stands for multi-level marketing. An MLM or multi-level marketing company essentially relies on independent consultants or retailers to purchase product, purchase inventory, sell the inventory to friends, family members, strangers, people on the internet, whatever, ship the orders out, and that's how they make their money. Now, the kind of secret to most MLMs, or probably all MLMs, is this sort of chain of command that develops within these organizations. Let's say that I'm selling essential oils. I tell you all, my YouTube followers, hey, I started selling essential oils. It's a really great side hustle. You guys should think about selling these oils as well. If you want to, just sign up using my link or send me a DM and I'll get you onboarded. Well, now you all go out and buy your own inventory of these oils, and I'm probably gonna get a commission of that. And I may also get a commission on how much product you're selling to your people. And I also might get a commission based on how many people you recruit onto your team. So what ends up happening in a lot of cases is that these consultants or these retailers don't actually make a lot of money from selling the inventory itself. Because to be honest with you, a lot of these products that MLMs sell, they're not really the best products in the world. They're, leggings that, in my opinion, look like Walmart quality, which there's nothing wrong with Walmart quality. But the great thing about Walmart is that they're like $5, $10, or mediocre makeup. Any MLM makeup I've tried is like, Forever 21 quality makeup. Again, has its time and its place, but I'm not going to spend a lot of money for it. So you're not usually getting rich off of the product. You're usually getting rich off of the people that you recruit under you and sell to them and sell this dream lifestyle, and then they sell the dream lifestyle, and then it goes on and on and on. So from a business lens, the first red flag about this whole structure is the buy-in. Now, I knew that there was a buy-in. I knew that there was a minimum amount you had to spend for most MLMs to actually, get your inventory in your house and be able to start selling that. But I didn't realize until watching this documentary or this series that this company in particular that they're covering, their minimum order to get started was like $5,000. I thought it was like maybe 500 or something, which even that is a lot. I want to be clear that most people, particularly the people who they target, single moms, stay-at-home moms, military wives, right? These are folks that are usually relying on one income to get by and to feed their families, and they're looking for flexible work that they can either do after their day job, or, if you're a military wife, you don't want to have to pick up and put down your job every few years while you move around. You need something that can kind of move with you. Most of them are not in the position to be just dropping $5,000. Most people in general are not in the position to just drop $5,000, just like that. And the thing about this buy-in is this is not a product that is guaranteed to sell. This is not something that is guaranteed to prove a return for your investment. You then get the inventory, you get the product, and then you still have to go out and use your sales muscles and work your magic and get on Facebook Live all the time and get, knocking virtual doors, sending out emails to your friends, having at-home parties, and actually sell the product. I also didn't realize that in order to stay active within the company, you needed to keep ordering product every month. So if I was just a really casual seller, maybe I had a full-time job, or I had my business, my YouTube channel and all of that, and I just wanted to sell a couple oils here and there, or sell a couple leggings here and there, I couldn't really do that. I really needed to be pumping these out or just continuing to order, even if I still had inventory in my stock room, and just basically making a mess of my house and accumulating all of this inventory and digging myself into this hole financially. I took down some figures while watching this. One woman said that she paid about $78,000 over the course of a year for her inventory. So that's how much she spent on her product. She made $83,000 from sales. So we can do the math. That's like what, $5,000 that was actually profit. $5,000 in profit for a year of hustling, being on Facebook Live, inviting all your friends over, hounding all your family. $5,000, and that doesn't even account for, she even mentioned, business expenses. I know from running a business, I certainly pay $5,000 in operating expenses every year. So basically she's just flat. She's not making anything. Now, she was making money though, and the way she said she was making money is she had $63,000 in bonus checks. So she was making about $70,000 total, largely due to bonus checks, meaning she was recruiting people, selling them this lifestyle, getting them onboarded, and there you go. That was her full-time salary. Speaking of that lifestyle, the second red flag is this sort of too good to be true lifestyle that this company tries to promise you. One of the big phrases that stuck out to me while watching this was full-time money for part-time work. They kept saying that over and over again. And again, they're appealing to moms, a lot of them, or couples, married couples, or, people who maybe couldn't work a traditional job for whatever reason. And I just think that is terribly misguided. I have started an online business from the ground up, self-made, if you will. I don't come from a rich family or a family with much money at all. I was raised by a single mom. I've been through the trenches. I've worked my way up in my business, and I would never, ever tell anybody who is looking to start any kind of business that you are going to be able to work part-time to make a lot of money. That's just not realistic in the early days. Now, I will say, now that I've been in business for many years and I have a small team, a legitimate team that I pay money, not that I just onboard through recruiting, I can work part-time if I really want to, and still, my business will still be operating. But especially during those early years when you're building your business, you're building your clientele, you're building out your content marketing strategies, all of these things, it's not super realistic. What I did is I worked part-time on my business, and it was a side hustle. So I was working part-time and making part-time income. The people who do make full-time income for part-time work are the lucky few, right? They got lucky. They found some really ingenious way to do something, a process or whatever it might be. It's not for most of us, I'm gonna be honest, at least not in the beginning. And I would imagine building a leggings business based out of your home is gonna be the same way. They also would say things like the product sells itself. And I mean, it's just a weird thing to say. I think, there's a lot of great products out there, but they still require good salespeople to sell them. You go into any luxury store and you know that experience. If you've ever bought anything from a luxury store, these are beautiful handbags, beautiful shoes, perfect, amazing quality, prestige, luxurious brand name. But even still, the salespeople have a job to do, and they're good at their jobs. So I think that's just another misguided statement. And it just tries to convince these women, and I'm saying women because it's largely women who make up a lot of these MLM salespeople. It's giving these women this false hope that, you don't even need any skills. Like, you don't even need, to get any training. You don't need this. You don't need that. It's so easy. Just start. And it's trying to get them to buy on impulse and start on impulse. And it's just a lot. There was one point point in the show where they talked about this hashtag because of the brand name here. And allegedly the owners or some team leader or something was encouraging people to use this hashtag when they did fancy things like, booked a fancy cruise or got a nice Mercedes Benz or a new luxury handbag. They would ask them to hashtag and basically associate it with the company and say, look, because of my job, I was able to get this. And at surface level, it might not seem that weird, I guess. I mean, I certainly have posted on social media, hey, I'm taking a random Thursday off to go to Target because that's what I like to do. And it's because I work for myself and that's a really amazing benefit. But no one's telling me to do that. And that's where I think it gets really almost sinister and deceptive. They also are known, this company in particular, but I've also watched some other MLM videos of, other companies that really sell people on these experiences, on these events, on cruises that the top salespeople get to go on, even though they have to pay for their accommodations still. And even just the events, they bring Kelly Clarkson and who else? That Katy Perry, it makes it seem like this really glamorous, exciting thing, like, oh my gosh, my job brought Katy Perry in to sing for us. But at the end of the day, that's not why we work. Like, yeah, that's a nice perk, I guess. Who doesn't want to see some pop star for free, I guess? Some of these women talked about how they were on government assistance when they started selling for this company. If you are in that position, probably the best type of bonus or thank you a company can offer you is money. And I even try to be cautious of this in my business for the small team that I do have. I'll send a Starbucks gift card now and again because I know that's something that they will use. Like, who doesn't use that? Otherwise, I'm just gonna give them a bonus. I personally believe in investing in your team through your time and through money. That's what people want at the end of the day. All of my best jobs have never had a beer cooler in the kitchen or a Katy Perry concert or a foosball table, right? They've involved either really great leaders and mentors who cared about me as a person or they just gave me performance bonuses or they would give me time off. And I think those are what people really want, again, especially if you have a family and you're looking to be able to spend more time with them and things like that. The last red flag is this sort of cult-like atmosphere. Well, really, there were more red flags, but this is the big one that I want to talk about today. If it looks like a cult, sounds like a cult, there was one point that was deeply shocking to me where a woman was talking about having relationship problems with her husband because she all of a sudden took on this breadwinner role and wasn't able to do the things that she used to be able to do for the house and the family and the kids and him and things like that. And again, I can't remember if it was the owner of the company or a leader or a mentor as they call them, but somebody recommended this book to her, which I'll put a screenshot of, and I read some of the Amazon reviews and they were interesting. It was very much the opposite of what you would expect out of a girl boss kind of brand. You expect this woman empowerment and yes, I am a boss, I'm a breadwinner, whatever, but you should still be really submissive to your husband and follow all these weird traditional values. And listen, I'm not judging you if you are traditional in that way. I'm just saying it's weirdly hypocritical to be girl boss, flex on them, do this, do that, and then, but also still be this traditional wife, being able to do all the things you were doing when you were staying at home and not making any money. It's very confusing. And I also just think it's an overreach. I don't tell my team how to manage their relationships or their family lives. If they came to me as a friend, as a human, and asked me for advice, of course I would talk to them, but that would be sort of off the record, if you will, just a human-to-human conversation. I think it's not the place of an employer or a, distributor, or whatever the heck they're called, to be giving that kind of advice. They also build these figures in the company up to be these kind of gurus, these larger-than-life, godlike figures. We all look to leaders, right? I mean, I'm the leader of my company. I look up to other leaders of other companies, but I'm not God. I do not want my team to ooh and ah when I walk in the room. Like, I'm just a human being. And I think it just shows the level of control that these companies have over these people. They also talked about, going back to the events, they would do a lot of kind of coaching at these events. They would give them these, mindset talks and these books to read, not just the kind of sexist book, but other books too about, mindset and positive thinking and not being a victim, not having victim mentality and things like that. Kind of very like Tony Robbins conference-esque. And again, I don't want to trash mindset coaching or the power of positive mindset. I certainly read a lot of mindset and self-help books and invest in that area of my life. But I certainly do not put that above the importance of just knowing how to do my job. Like, that's just base level. I need the skills to sell the thing that I sell, to, stay knowledgeable about the stuff that I talk about, to provide customer service. Like, all of these things are frankly more important than like waking up and like drinking my bulletproof coffee and like, having a positive mindset. Like, I'm sorry, but it's a little woo-woo for me. And I will even say that in the online business world, that is something I see a lot of people get stuck in. They'll abandon their business coach or not hire an accountant or a bookkeeper or a lawyer or those things that you need in a business, and they will instead be addicted to these kind of woo-woo coaches that just tell them what they want to hear, that they tell them they're amazing, that they tell them they can do anything, but they're not actually ever teaching them how to do the thing. They're just kind of saying pretty words to them. So that's something that affects a lot of different kinds of businesses, but in particular, this company was really pushing it on their people. Oh, last thing on the cult-like thing. This is my advice for anyone looking for any kind of job, starting any kind of business. Run if your client, if your employer, if they refer to you as family, run. Seriously. I find that to be such a toxic thing. Again, I love my team. I care about them as people. I consider them friends. I care about their families. I want good things for them. They're not my family and I am not theirs. And that is not because I don't love them and adore them. It is because they should have a certain loyalty to their family that they do not have to their job. If, God forbid, something happens with their child, their mom, their husband, their wife, that should take priority in their life, not my company. Full stop. And in one point in this documentary, somebody actually encouraged somebody to find a new husband because the husband was having a hard time dealing with the changes in the business. Again, I would never tell my employee to find a new partner. This is just not my place. Not my place. Okay, so like I said, let's turn this around. My advice to you is this. 1, it takes money to make money is not really true. Not totally. I mean, yes, you may have some small investments you need to make. Let's say that you do want to become a freelance social media manager. That's how I got started out with my business. I have lots of videos about it on this channel. I'll link some up here for you if you're curious. Yes, you probably need a computer, okay? You need a laptop. That's what I had. Actually, I was using an iMac when I first started on Upwork. That's how I got my first freelance gig. I used an iMac. That was $1,500. Yes, that is an investment. And you could argue, well, you just said don't spend $5,000, but that iMac I still have. It still works. I bought it 6 years ago. And also, you can use it for other things. If you decide, you know what, I don't want to be a social media manager. I want to own a t-shirt company, or I want to become a wedding photographer, or whatever it is that you want to go after, that will live with you. That will grow and change with you. So that is a solid investment. But chances are, if you're watching a YouTube video, a lot of you probably already have an iPad, a laptop, a computer, or something like that. So that's something that you could start with right away. Going on Upwork, searching for gigs. They might not be, thousands and thousands of dollars worth at the beginning, but you can do virtual assistant gigs. You can do social media management, especially if you were in an MLM, because honestly, a lot of those folks are on Facebook Live all the time. They're in Facebook groups all the time. So there are definitely things that you can do in that world. Now, I know what you might be thinking, like, hey, Latasha, you sell courses and stuff though. Isn't that an MLM? No, first of all, it's not, because I do not have a dozen people under me hawking my courses as well. But secondly, I tell people straight up, do not buy my courses if you cannot afford them. Do not put my courses on a credit card if you do not intend to pay that credit card off at the end of the month. Do not go into your 401k to buy my courses, etc. Do not do that. I genuinely believe if you binge a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel and other people's videos as well, there's so much great information on YouTube, on podcasts, on, course websites for free or for very, very cheap. If you binge a bunch of my videos, you should be able to get at least 1 or 2 clients to start you off and to be able to pay for one of my courses. I genuinely believe that. I had someone on Twitter just tweet me recently and say that's exactly the process that they took. And I also, some of my most loyal viewers ever who have learned so much and built and grown businesses of their own have never paid for a single one of my products. They just show up here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and watch my videos. So it's totally possible. Taking courses and things like that can accelerate your growth. And I look at it as like school. I went to college because it helped me learn a lot of things. I could have learned those over the years, but they helped kind of condense things into a way that was really digestible and that taught me the most important things I needed to know at that time. But you certainly do not need it. Lastly, I just think it's really important to remember that not all money is good money. At the end of the day, you need to really analyze where your money is coming from. I'm a big believer in voting with your dollar and just realizing the impact that you making that bit of money is having on other people. I don't want to, that's one of the reasons I don't have a big affiliate program for my courses, is it seems disingenuous a little bit. If people are just talking about my courses just to talk about my courses and make money, is it really that good, or are they just trying to make a buck? And so on. So you need to really analyze that for yourself if you go and decide to start an online business or any type of business or whatever. Where is it coming from? Is this honest money? Am I really helping people? And a little anecdote about that. The only real experience that I personally have with MLMs, of course, I've had, the random people from high school send me messages and try to recruit me and things like that. But I did date a guy in high school who sold vacuums. These vacuums were I think they were between $800 and $1,200, somewhere around there. They were expensive vacuums. I just saw the way, first of all, I don't even know how he got the money for the buy-in for those, because I'm sure there was one. But, his first sales were his family. And that's a really weird position to put people in, number one. I know one of his family members, she was just the nicest lady. She really cared about him. I think about my nephew, I just want him to be successful. I order things from his little school fundraiser catalogs, not because I want them, but because I'm being a good aunt. But those things are $30, not a $800 or $1,000 vacuum. So you're putting people in really weird positions just because they care about you. And it just becomes very manipulative. And also, from a business perspective, again, I actually encourage people to not make their first sales their family and friends. Now, it's one thing to have a portfolio project if your aunt, needs a website built and you're an aspiring web designer and you don't even charge her, you just do it so you can get some examples in your portfolio. That's one thing. But I don't encourage actually having your family pay you, especially large amounts of money, and that being your main lead source for your business. One, because of the manipulative factor to it, but also because it's not sustainable. It's not repeatable. How can you say you have this process for generating leads for your business if your process is just calling up your friends and family? Eventually, your friends and family are going to tap out. They're going to say, hey, I bought my one vacuum. That's all that I have to give you. And you only need one vacuum, right? You don't buy a vacuum constantly every year. So how, after you run out of friends and family, how are you going to get clients? So it's really important to also build a professional network, build a solid content marketing strategy for whatever you're trying to do. If it's web design, post YouTube videos, post TikToks, post a podcast to attract your ideal clients, not just bang on their doors and, hope that they emotionally break down and want to help you out. So I've rambled on for enough now. I think that's what I have to say about MLMs for now, at least. If you have any thoughts, let's be respectful. Again, I really do feel for people who get sucked into these because there's just a lot of promises. Who doesn't want to work part-time and make full-time income? Who doesn't want more time to spend with their families? I get it, I do, but I'm glad that documentaries like this are coming to light and that, more people are just being open with their experiences. I do invite you, if you happen to be somebody who is in an MLM or, you're experiencing this kind of thing and you are looking for a more sustainable way to make money, I'm not trying to sell to you in any way. You don't have to buy anything from me, but please do check out my channel. I'll leave some of my favorite videos in the cards up here and also down below that can help you kind of figure out where to get started. I'm not gonna say it's easy because it isn't, but it is very, very possible. You can definitely make at least a part-time income online. There are more opportunities than ever, and I'd be happy to help you however I can. So check out the links in the description box. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a thumbs up. And of course, if you don't mind subscribing, I post videos every Monday and Wednesday about online business, freelancing, entrepreneurship, social media management, etc. And I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.